welcome to Who Dares Rolls Mumbo Jumbo for the early part of September. I didn't bother checking the date again because why would I? But yes, we have crept into September, and with this being England and Great Britain as it is now decided to bring us a heat wave at the very end of the school holidays, and when summer's finished, it's now fucking hot. So how long this is going to last, we don't know. We've had a whole day and a bit of it, and already everyone's dying. It's typical England stuff. We'll be whinging about it in about 3 more days from now. But yes, it is gloriously hot. It is lovely. It's a bit too hot, if I'll be honest with you, because, I mean, I'm just going to have to sit in here and do fuck all. What's a terrible turn of events. Just awful. And there I was wanting to go out and mow the lawn or something. So, all of that stuff, lots of stuff going on in this episode, some cataclysmic news regarding Frosthaven, yeah, there's lots. It's going to get real emotional, guys and girls. Let's crack on. What have I been playing? Eat games. So played. Top of the bat, me and Robbie had a 2-player session, Rarity, the other week, because Jamie and Tony were away on the Sunday, so we played Res Arcana at 2-player, which was a real tight little game, actually. Really enjoyed that. I do like Res Arcana. If you've not caught already, we do enjoy it. There was a review of that dropping, if it's not already dropped, of that coming soon, and After Us may have dropped already. Again, that is like complimentary reviews. Reviews, my goodness. I am editing them still. So Res Arcana we played 2-player, then we actually played a game of Tapestry at 2-player, and it was really, again, very tight, very cutthroat. It played differently, but I really enjoyed it. I do enjoy Tapestry, as we know. It is random as all hell. It was very close. Both games were incredibly close. I think I won one of them, and I lost a tiebreak situation on Res Arcana with Robbie. So we were really evenly matched. Very close. And enjoyed all of that. I think you know what Tapestry is, and I think you know what Res Arcana is. If you don't, you can watch the review of Tapestry. No, Res Arcana. And I haven't done one for Tapestry. Maybe I should. I don't know. Anyway, we'll move on. We have been playing. We played Escape Plan the other night. Ben's Escape Plan is a Vita Lasada game of a big Euro escaping a city. We're trying to get some money on it. And I've played a different couple of strategies on it now. None of which have been terribly successful in me winning the game. Although having tell a lie, I think I may have won. I may have won last night. I can't remember, but I enjoy it. Of the Vita Lasada games we played, of them being Kanban, we played Weather Machine, and on Mars, I want to say something else. It's not Vinius, it's something else. Of all of those we've played, I'll be honest, I enjoy Escape Plan the most. It's the lighter of the fair of the lot of them, I would say, but I like the theme. It actually comes through. It's aesthetically quite cool, and I enjoy what you're doing. It just feels like a Euro with a bit of story to it. So I enjoy that. The others, I found just kind of hard work for what they ultimately give you. And Weather Machine we covered in a couple of videos ago, which is a fucking nightmare. So we played that. We've been playing a lot of our new obsession, which is Scout. From Oik Games. That's the company I couldn't think of the other day. Really quickly, just to go through this. Oh, poo. Look what's happened. I just wanted to get a card. So, yes, Scout. Real Scout. This. Supposed to have a theme of a circus. If you can find that fucker, you're better man than I. Circus stuff is going on. We tried it. It doesn't really stick. Number wang. That's what this is. Anyway, you get dealt some cards. You end up with a set hand of cards signed up like this. You cannot alter what they are doing. They're locked into this pattern. The only thing you could potentially do at the very start is spin them over and decide which one of these 2 hands you want to keep. Like that or like that. What you are ideally looking for, and I can't see from the back of the cards, I'm trying really hard but it's not working, it's for sets. Runs of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or whatever. Or actual sets of cards, 2s and 3s or 4s, trip for 2s, whatever. And the idea is you are playing out of your hand during the game. I haven't looked what this is. Oh, there you go. There's nearly a set there. So I might play 6 and 7. Goes down on the table. Robbie then will have to beat that by either playing 6, 7, 8 or anything above that, or a set of cards, 2 matching pairs of 2 cards will beat that, and so on and so forth. It goes for the game. If I ever pick a card up, I can put it into my deck, and I can choose to go that way up, or I can choose to go that way up, and I lock it in anywhere in here. And looking at that, oh my god. Well, I'll stick it in there for a minute. There we go. But yeah, as you can see, that's how it works. I've got run starting and all that sort of stuff. I've got run starting? Jesus Christ. Scout. It is a lot easier to play than to teach, if I'm honest with you. Really enjoyable. 20 quid, point games. The only thing I fall on just feels a little bit expensive for what it is, but it's got a good playability in it. But everything's fine. The cards, I don't know what to do with them. I think eventually they are going to get crunched up, I guess. I'll see how many games I get out. But yeah, really enjoying Scout. Really great. It is our new thing. Ben bought it. I played it. I really enjoyed it. We played it around the other night with Tony. I suspect Tony will go and buy a copy now as well. And I can see this becoming a firm sort of affixed into our end game session type stuff. A game of number wang. So that's what we played. That. I'm going to have a slurp of my coffee. By all means, indulge yourself. So that is that. Clear some space. After that, we played, or before that even, in fact, Barcelona. This is the latest from Board and Dice. I have got Books of Time to review as well and play that. Yeah, I picked this. It's got slightly higher ratings than Board Game Geek. This was sent to me to review. So I thought we'd better kind of start playing it and get a feel for it. So, Barcelona. The idea is you are building Barcelona, the city of Barcelona. It is set, I think, at the turn of the 19th century, I want to say. There is historical context in this. The designer of Barcelona, Danny Garcia, lives in Barcelona, and the game is all about Barcelona. It has a very specific geography to the city, or design to it. To skip the history lesson to a certain degree, but around about the turn of the century, 19th century, Barcelona was at one point just encompassed in this like 5 mile square block of the entire city, wedged in there, like that. Terrible living conditions because everyone living on top of each other, cats and dogs fighting and things and people, and illness spreading throughout the area, lots of disease, rampant disease and crime and shit, really. Just like Gotham City with a slightly Latin tinge to it, banged in there. So what this designer came along and said, the city developer or whoever said, no, what you do is absolutely insane. What you need is blocks with lots of green areas, wide areas of wide pavements and areas for people to walk down and blocks. If you then go and Google Barcelona, if you look on Google Map or Google Images, Google Earth even, lots of goo, you will see what I'm on about. It's quite boom when you see it from above. So this game is about you doing that, essentially. Designing this city, laying stuff. It is kind of a worker placement, tile laying, city building, resource generating, engine builder thing, Euro, lots of stuff going on. This is fucking heavy, actually. This is much heavier and meatier than the initial theme and the aesthetics of it kind of were. And hats off to Board and Dice, because it looks beautiful. Something about this cover looks like it's far more exciting and sinister and fantasy-ish than it actually is. But I think it's because of the colours and this kind of citadel type thing. It kind of drew me in. Barcelona! I had to get that in there. But yes, I've distracted myself. We played a learning game of it the other night. I hadn't played before. I'd skimmed the rule book. I kind of prepared the components. We went at it. And there was mixed opinions. I don't think Jamie was a big fan of it. I have cautious optimism towards it. It is a heavy game. Essentially what you're doing in the game is you're building Barcelona city, as we say, and you are placing people on the board. Civilians, I don't know, people visiting. You put 2 little chits down that represent different people, visitors in the city, the public, and they're different colours between green, blue and pink, I want to say, and you pick, when you get your tiles you draw out of a bag, you pick which way you want to pop them down and you place them somewhere in a quad in the city block. When they go down, they trigger anything near them. You can get resources that way, and they also, around the edge of the board, are different actions. And depending where you place your guys, they will line up at least with a couple of actions, and then you can, in any order, and do anything you want to do. You can do those actions and generate stuff or whatever. As the game progresses as more stuff goes on the board, more city blocks, more roads, and more other bits, there's different stuff will be triggered by other stuff going on. So building more roads will score you points. Getting a tram out and driving it around will allow you to score points, but also activate other actions, maybe where you land your tram. How the people are down represents what buildings you can build of the 3 different types. The better ones give you more stuff. On your player boards, there's a heap of stuff going on. You're getting points and stuff by taking cubes off for the passengers in your tram. You also do it for building buildings. You also got a limited warehouse of stuff that's coming in, but you can make it bigger by putting other stuff down on another separate board to get you more generation of stuff. You can also move cubes around on your board to give you more bonus modifiers for different scoring tiles you can pick up during the game. And all this you can do pretty much as you please. It's really just dependent on where you place your initial visitors to the city. Where you plonk them down, they will give you the actions you want. But also tied into that is all the other stuff you may trigger by them going down on something you own or been near, or even someone else does. But also the colours of them represent what you can build if you want to build city blocks. The lower level ones only require any 2 random colours, whereas you want to build the higher tier cities on top of stuff, and you can put them over other people's. Then you're going to need to get the mixed colours depending on that. So there was a lot going on, and I mean there is a lot going on, and definitely towards the end of as we were playing it, I really was just using it as a just to pull at the strings and tweak the edges and see what happened, and just kind of get a feel for what was going on. And towards the end, I actually got to the point where I could see how you could chain a bunch of moves, a bunch of actions, by doing this to generate some stuff, to do that, to do something else, and very much a lot of that could be going on. I think my concerns for this game with Tony and Robbie around, and both of which do have their AP moments. I think they could be utter paralysis faced with the sheer weight of options that you have in this game. It is not as heavy, but I got a little bit of Weather Machine vibes off of this, but at the much lower end of the spectrum, in that you are there's a lot going on. You're doing stuff to do stuff to do stuff to do stuff. It by means is not as heavy and as impenetrable as that, but it is a lot heavier than maybe some other board and dice games I think we've played. I think the only other one I can think of that's equally as heavy as this was Tavernusi, which I just found was impenetrably too heavy and just too much going on, and it just kind of I just bounced off of it because I just kind of went, oh, it's a lot to teach, and then there's a lot to do and lots of edge cases and stuff. And then this again is initially a bit imposing on the teacher what there is, because there's an awful lot of stuff going on. Every time you put something down or do something, it triggers something else. So it's one of those, though the rule book is sparse, it's not a big, huge, thick, heavy rule book. And it's laid out not too bad, although it does have lots of other boxes in there giving you the history of the game and Barcelona, which is lovely, a lot of flavour text and stuff in there. But when you're just trying to teach the game and get the rules and do stuff, I don't want to go on a historical tour of Barcelona during the rules teach. Player aids weren't bad in there. Generally, everything, the components and everything else is pretty good, pretty solid. It looks good. It's colourful. It's definitely more colourful than the recent glut of stuff we've seen out of Board and Dice, especially a lot of the Aztec stuff they've been doing. It was all kind of a bit bland, a bit grey, a bit brown, a bit meh. Whereas this cannot be accused of that. It's very colourful, and it does look gorgeous on your table. But yeah, that's Barcelona. That was a teaching game. It plays 1 to 4. I personally think that I've got the dog in and I'm in the middle of filming a video, even though I just shout it to everyone, and thanks.
Excellent.
He could stay if he's going to behave himself. Yes, back to where we were. I think the point I was trying to make is this does play 1 to 4. I feel that this is a game that probably is going to play better with the lower player counts. I am concerned about playing it 4-player with my 2 AP prone compadres. I've kind of got it and I understand how it works, but I can see how people could get frozen very much into Jesus analysis processes all over the place, because every action has a reaction, and there's lots of comboing of the stuff in this. I think especially as you get into it, you'll be seeing people trying to min-max that. I think it could cause massive backlog of AP-ish people who are prone to that freezing up and kind of, and Tony's definitely one of those. He does love to min-max, and he does love to think very hard and fast about all what he's doing. So that's Barcelona. That is our first play. We're interested to play it some more now I know and understand it. The teach isn't that hard, I think, once you've been through the rule book. Now, I taught it from the book. There is one thing I need to look in there and find, because there was a set of tiles I put on the board that didn't appear to appear again in the rule book. So I may have missed that, but I think everything else we got right, and it made sense once we were doing. If you're a fan of much heavier tile laying, URE, worker replacement type engine builder, victory point gating shit, then this may well be in your ballpark. This is certainly, for me at the moment, one of the more polished, and it feels like a solid game for Board and Dice. I'm not trying to disparage them in any way by that. I will say this. I just found a lot of their stuff aims for the moon and often falls short. It's something always a little bit like, oh, it's missing something. The only one I think of late that I really clicked with me and I really enjoyed was Origins, the first build. I really enjoyed that. But everything else that's come out previously and around that sort of time, and they've brought out since, all of it's felt a little bit lacking somewhere in something with a bit of meat to it. So it's really nice to have something colourful from them, and number two, actually, it does feel like a solid game. There's a lot going on, but it's one that I will be interested to play again. I know definitely Ben will be lapped this up. It is only 4 players, so I had to find a night on a Friday where there's only 4 of us, and we will get it back to the table on a Sunday, though I have my misgivings possibly regarding that. But there we go, Barcelona for Boarding Dice. Go and have a look around what else there is. We're a little while before I review it, but first impressions are it's heavy, there's a lot going on. I like a lot of what the mechanisms are. Is it doing anything new? No, I don't think it's doing anything new, but it's using a combination of a lot of stuff that I kind of like, and definitely I like the comboing stuff. So maybe it might be something for you. Do a little look and sniff and feel, as it were. That was a very loud bang. News! I think we're on to news. Here is the news. News quick. The Spiel's coming. There's some reports and stuff coming up now for Spiel and stuff coming up. I don't know. To be honest, I will look at it nearer the time. I'm not buying a lot of games at the moment. As we know, a lot of the big Spiel releases are kind of running a bit scared from Arcana, I believe. I know that Ignacy's got, Portal Games have got Imperial Miners, which I have got a copy coming to review. That'd be nice. I did love the look of that, and that's their big Spiel release. Other than that, I don't know. I guess Barcelona, some stuff for Board and Dice. I know they were going to have their new Untold games at the Spiel, which is the kind of escape room type stuff. Other than that, at the moment, I haven't really looked at any greater detail. But I'm sure very soon will be an abundance of avalanche, as it were, of board game release dates and times and things. Any of them any good? Who knows? We shall see. I'm just trying to think back now, last year's Spiel games, if there's anything really huge from that that's still doing the rounds, and I'm coming up a bit empty on that. But we'll have a look later on. It's always worth waiting for everything to calm down. But it does look like Lorcana is going to be the thing that's kind of going to be all over the place. It's selling out massively, stupidly fast at the moment. People are already in the aftermarket trying to shift stuff for stupid fucking money. I'm vaguely interested to say just because it's a CCG, but then I'm not a big, massive Disney fan, and I don't know. So I think it's just it's almost a FOMO thing. Oh, what's that nice thing that's going on over there? So we'll see. I'm not panicky about it, but we'll see. Anyway, other stuff going on. Worms, a Kickstarter for the Worms board game is on Kickstarter. I think it's coming from Mantis Games. It's £100 fucking or more for it. I had my misgivings on this when they showed me bits or spoke about it at the expo. At the end of the day, and I'm going to pop my old grumpy old person hat on now, it's over £100 for a board game of Worms, which, let's be clear, even if it manages to somehow simulate the feel of Worms, which I don't think it fucking will, I could just have the enjoyment of playing Worms by going to Steam and spending probably about £3 or £4 on the game, and then I could play with my mates and they've all got a copy, and we can enjoy our Wormsness all day long. I loved Worms. I have a nostalgia for it. I don't have a nostalgia enough to spend over £100 on a board game that probably at the end of the day will be a bit fiddly and a bit other stuff going on, and you'll go and play it and enjoy it maybe and go, that was fun, but it's not as fun as Worms, and that's kind of how I feel this is going to roll out. I've not looked any further than that. I kind of just saw the price tag on it. It was just like, you're having a fucking giraffe. But yeah, if that's for you, then fine. It looks like it's fairly light. Anyway, it's not going to work, is it? It can't replicate what Worms was. It will be some sort of shooty thing that may be fun, but it's not going to be Worms. So that's out. If that's your thing, I personally say, just go buy the fucking app. Subterra 2 is being delivered finally after IT Inside the Box Games catastrophically crashed and burned in a mismanagement shenanigans. It did look for a while that was it. Naylor Games has stepped in and picked up all the titles and I presume all the stock they could, and they are delivering, making good to Kickstarter backers at the moment. So that's nice. Although a vicious rumour I heard is that the Subterra 2 at the retail is the same as what you were getting at Kickstarter. So if you are in the mood for that, then, go for it. I did play Subterra 2 about a year or two ago. It was okay. It's a different game to Subterra. You're kind of running in more Indiana Jonesy as you're running for a temple and flamings and stuff. It's all right, but I don't think it's as good as the original Subterra. But yeah, if you're in the market of that, or if you were backed it and waiting for it, well, it's coming. Thank God for that. Jolly good. Thank you, Naylor Games. Well done, you guys. They've also teased, well, they haven't, fucking Stronghold. Stronghold Games have put out a preview announcement for Prelude 2. There's a second Prelude game for the Terraforming Mars. We'll add more corporations, more Prelude cards, some weird mats that I don't understand. I personally ain't going to back it on Kickstarter. I did back, I think, one a few years ago when they did whatever the last expansion was that absolutely escapes my brain, and I've used it like once because it's like that. I do like the idea of Prelude and adding more stuff in, so I'll keep an eye out for that when it hits retail, because Prelude's about the one absolute, I would say, essential expansion to add to your Terraforming Mars. Aside from that, there has been a catastrophic occurrence in Frosthaven. I store there's a plastic insert, big plastic insert, about yay big, that has all the cards and the dividers in them for all the different decks that you move stuff around. There's one for the road events in the winter and the summer, there's one for outpost events winter and summer, and some other bits in there, and they are built upon and stuff gets added to them as you play the adventure and add stuff in, stuff comes out and yada yada yada. Wonderful. Long story short is the other day, fucking around trying to do something else, I knocked this and the whole fucking lot has fallen off, and gone, and it's like 21,000 card pickup. There is decks there that have been set because they've been added to as we've played. I now need to try and unwind this fucking horror show and work out what should have been in those decks. We had taken a Frosthaven break, which is just as well, because it's going to take me a little while to sort this out. Because I need to basically go back through all the scenarios and work out what should be in these decks and what. It's a bit head-boggling. It's going to take a while, and at the moment I don't have the appetite to be doing that, other than wanting to punch myself in the face. So that happened. Be cautious, everyone. Don't do that. It's a bad thing to do to your campaign game, mid-campaign. It's not a good idea. It's not a good look. So yes, that happened. James Murray, I still haven't made use of your gag present. James sent me a really quite funny thing to do with my terrible issues with focusing the camera before we move to this setup, which kind of feels a bit more intimate and seems to be working at the moment. But yes, he sent me something to help with that, and it is going to be in an upcoming video. I just haven't had the fucking time. But yes, I still very much thank you for that, James. That gift, that was lovely, and it put a smile to my face. And I don't want you feeling like I have ignoring you, because I'm not. I have really. No. So that happened. Moving on to other shit that's going on. I'm still watching Ahsoka. We've got 3 episodes of that. The last one dropped the other day. That was really good. It is a show that's not really doing much, but doing it very Star Warsy, and having some really cool stuff. And the last episode had some really cool Star Warsy stuff happen. Stuff that you've kind of always gone, I'd like to see cool shit happen with Jedis and stuff, and they're doing it, and it's kind of very Star Warsy, and it feels very Star Warsy, and it's just fun. And I'm sure the internet is probably losing its shit over it for some reason or another, but I'm really enjoying it for what it is. It just feels very Star Wars. It's the most Star Warsy feeling thing I think they've put out since Disney acquired Lucasfilm, if I'm honest. It's good fun. And if you've watched Rebels and if you've done all that, then there's a lot of mileage to be gained from that. But I'm generally enjoying the cast, the look, the feel, and everything of it. And I can understand there may be some criticisms about it. It's not technically doing a whole lot, but you know what? What it's doing well, and it looks fucking lovely. So I'm on board. Anything else? I don't think anything else I watched. Me and Tham are going through Game of Thrones. We just finished season 2, so we're moving on to season 3 any day now. So that's I'm enjoying watching that again. It is a good show. It's well put together, and watching it has left me with the things going, oh, that's going to happen. All this is coming. Oh, that's good. And watching it with George, who hadn't seen it before, it's nice to kind of rubberneck his opinions and viewpoints and what he's seeing and what's happening. What else have I got going on? I've been reading this, which is The Last Action Heroes from Nick DeSimilin. He's the editor of Empire magazine. What we got here is essentially a kind of quite light but fun breeze through the 80s and 90s of the action heroes, the big names of Arnie, Sylvester, Stallone, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Seagal, Lundgren, and Bruce Willis as well. It charts the 80s and 90s of action movies and all the goings on behind the scenes, all the egos, all the mayhem, all the stupidity, all the weird and wonderful shit that's going on, and has some nice little asides, and it's just quite a breezy, easy, quick read, and it's all hitting the spots of all the stuff that I enjoy. If you're a big fan of these crazy bigger than life characters and the movies they were in during the 80s and 90s, and want a little bit more maybe insight into a lot of stuff that went on behind the scenes and the big feuds between some of the stars and all that, though most of it is fairly public these days. This is a lot of fun. It's very light. I've torn through it. I've got about 4 books on the go, but this is one that I've just been voraciously, I was going to say devouring, because it is just very easy, light read, and it's fun, and it's really good. So if you're a big fan of these guys and this period of cinema and the stupid bombastic movies of the 80s and 90s, of Rambos and the Predators and all that good shit, then you'll probably lap this up, because I'm really enjoying it. That's The Last Action Heroes with Nick DeSimilin. It's out now, and comes highly recommended as a light toilet read or whatever does it for you. Give that a pop. And that's kind of it for the minute for me. Coming up, as I say, there's some reviews to drop. We've obviously got to play some more Barcelona. We've got Books of Time to play. I will be getting Imperial Miners to look at. We have a whole host of other shit that we've not played nearly enough of that we probably should be doing, and other stuff like that. For the time being, though, enjoy the heat, the sun. Enjoy that while it lasts. Barbecue and be merry. Until next time, well, just do whatever you do between now and next time, I guess. Until then, ta-ta, adios, goodbye, farewell, off ski, fuck ski. Goodbye.